So coming into SAO Alternative, I was carefully optimistic, and the reason I was carefully optimistic is I've been burnt on Sword Art Online too many times, but I saw potential with this anime. Now, like many when you were first starting out with anime, you thought Sword Art Online was the greatest thing ever, and then as you see more and more anime, you look at the writing for its characters and you realize Sword Art Online wasn't as great as you might have thought in the intro stages to your anime watching career, as we could put it. However, there is stuff about Sword Art Online that even now, after seeing a ton of anime, I still think is solid. Nothing amazing, but solid. And I think the worlds that the original writer for Sword Art Online has made, while not anything jaw-dropping, are solid enough that you could see potential with a story. And what better writer to helm a Sword Art Online project than the man who wrote Kino's Journey, a novel series that is highly respected among so many anime fans. The Kino's Journey novels are highly acclaimed. Giving him Sword Art Online, and more specifically Gale Online as a project, honestly seems like the best match. Because Gale Online, while you could look at the Sinon story and just the Kirito story and everything they try to pull there, the world itself, while not overly deep, was decent. And also you removed A1 Pictures and give it to Studio 3 Hertz, who is best known in my opinion for their anime Foot Flappers. This definitely seemed like a pairing that could work in theory, but I've been burnt on Sword Art Online enough that I went in carefully optimistic, and coming out of the first episode, I can say I had fun with it. But granted, I had fun with the first episode of Season 1 of Sword Art Online even now. And I know this could easily go wrong, but coming out of what I saw with this episode, while we didn't see anything story-related or really anything deep with characters, it was definitely an action-oriented episode, I can see potential here. The idea of what they went for, it definitely is striking me as we're probably not going to see some die in the game, die in the real life bullshit. We're not going to have any of the stuff that really just makes me roll my eyes. It definitely strikes me as we're probably going to watch a very personal story with our main character, who is this like lolly looking girl, but I'm very thankful they didn't put her in a slutty outfit. She's actually covered up, so it doesn't make me roll my eyes too much. I definitely don't like the character design, but I can at least appreciate they didn't go the route of sexualizing her. But it definitely strikes me as we're probably going to watch this character kind of train up, go through this tournament, and it definitely strikes me as we're not going to necessarily have a story in the traditional sense of Sword Art Online, but more of just a competition, which I'm definitely on board with. Because if you look at really any sports anime, the general idea is you'll have a personal story, but it's about reaching the top. If this is mostly just focusing on the Gale Online tournament and then having some side story with it, that would actually be the best outcome for Sword Art Online in my honest opinion. But the thing that struck me, and that honestly surprised me the most, was there is actually strategy in this match. When you look at Sword Art Online in the past couple of seasons, there's no strategy. It's just Kirito swinging a sword. He's just a badass. That's who he is. He wins every fight. And that's all it is. And even though the strategy wasn't that deep, it was enough to make me thankful that the writers did switch for the original source, and I just adored it. Because we have this guy M, who is the sniper, and even though he's not the team leader like our main character, I actually liked his precision and how he wasn't just shoot first, ask question later. He actually felt like a sniper. He was looking out at the world, trying to figure out what the best outcome was, and a lot of times they were retreating in the episode and giving other teams to attack other teams kind of a thing. And it actually made a lot of sense, and there's this moment at the end of the episode where our main character, because her character is so small, she can literally fit in a briefcase. And they place her in the middle of a road, and one of this teams, who is basically like an army, basically, in the real world. They're soldiers, and they use Gale Online to train, which makes total sense, because, you know, we have pilots who train on simulations in airplane simulations, so it makes sense if you have this highly detailed world that is in VR that actually makes you feel like you're in the game, it would make sense that soldiers would use Gale Online to train for combat missions. And I like how they're approaching the suitcase and they're trying to figure out why is the beacon saying that she's here, and then she jumps out, and because her character has this special ability that makes her super fast, she wipes the floor. But it actually had strategy behind it, and I also really like the fact that these nameless soldiers, they log out after half their team is eliminated because that's not a human enemy. They're training against human enemies, so fighting against someone with a supernatural ability in this game isn't something that's worth their time. There's just enough little moments to make me think, like, this doesn't strike me as a traditional Sword Art Online, which is exactly what I was hoping for. This episode didn't wow me in the sense of, like, this is the best thing ever, I've never seen anything so creative. No. There's definitely, I don't like the main character's design, I don't like her voice that much, but I do like the idea of how they're presenting Gale Online in SAO Alternative, and that's enough to make me stick with this. Is this a show that I'm going to like the entire way through? I have no idea. This is something that I'm probably going to be carefully optimistic for every single episode, and then if there's a bad episode, that's when it's going to get a little messy. But it's something that I can see myself for now sticking with. I think fans of SAO are going to like this no matter what. But for the people who don't like SAO in the traditional sense, I can't say one way or another this is going to be for everyone. I think the main character's design is going to throw a lot of people off, and then it's also going to make a lot of people happy. But I think for the people who have not a burning hatred for Sword Art Online, I would recommend giving it a shot because it doesn't feel that cheap in terms of writing. There's a little bit of strategy, nothing that deep, but it was enough to get me invested, enough to make me sort of excited to watch episode 2. I'm definitely going to watch it, check it out. But if this ever gets bad, I'm going to stop watching it. But as long as it stays good, I'll continue reviewing it, I'll continue watching it. But I would recommend those people who don't have a burning hatred to probably try this out. Stick with this episode, see how you like how they're handling Gale Online, and then if you enjoy it, come back for episode 2, and if they try pulling the BS that SAO is known for, then maybe we drop out. But I think this is something that many fans like myself who maybe liked SAO in the early days, but now are just like, it's not as great as we might remember, are probably going to have a decent time with this. Nothing amazing, nothing jaw-dropping, but an overly solid episode that has me sort of excited for episode 2. Overall, I had a fun time with this. I actually appreciate the strategy that went in this episode. I hope it continues to improve, get more deep and complex, and it's not just shoot first, ask questions later. If they retain that and throw in even the slightest of character stories that is not, oh, we have Sinon's ass in the frame for 2 hours. I just want something decent that isn't fan service and just cheap writing. And so far, this episode delivered. It makes me pretty much the same way I came into this episode. I'm carefully optimistic. We'll see where it goes. Overall, this more or less met my expectations. You know, we have Kino's Journey author. We have Studio 3 Hertz, who I really like as a studio. Overall, this could be a really good anime, and it could fall down the line too, but right now, I'm pretty happy with SAO Alternative. But let me know your thoughts. What did you think of the first episode? Did you like the strategy that was implemented in it, and just the idea of how they were presenting the combat in a very non-SAO sense? Let me know down in that comment section below, and before you leave, smack that like button, share your support. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.